This guy was arrested by EFCC because he was working for a Chinese company here in Abuja that was doing Yahoo in disguise. I mean, this Chinese company was making billions of naira, and this guy never knew anything about it until EFCC arrested him. Today, he's here to expose a scam that has been raking in billions of naira, and he's here to share his experience to the world. This is his story.
The salary per month is about 150,000. We saw the job advert like every other person. So after the first phase, which I scaled through, and I was asked to start the job. And this job can be done part-time, just with your cell phone or with your laptop, you can do it. Once the client replies, we now transition from that level. There is another section within the company that no Nigerian working at a company will ever know. The day EFCC came to our company, they surrounded the entire environment so that no one can escape. And if you dare it, you could be fired.
Oh my goodness, bro. You were arrested by EFCC.
Yes, I was.
What happened? Can you tell the viewers your story?
All right. It was a terrible experience. To live is to preserve our existence. Man needs food to nourish his body. And for man to eat, he must work. And that is my story. I came into Abuja during my national youth service. So after my youth service, I had done everything within my reach and my power to ensure that I did something legal. But nothing was really working for me. So even to the extent that the popcorn business that I was doing, I gathered a few amount of money and I ventured into my MSc program just to make connections as to have a better living. But still, nothing is still working. So we saw the job advert like every other person. The interview happened in 2 phases. So after the first phase, which I scaled through, a few weeks later, I was called for another phase of the interview. So that same day, I was not able to scale through and I was asked to start the job.
With how much salary?
Okay, the salary per month is about 150,000 for my own unit.
Okay, I heard that some people were making just so much money that this Chinese company was paying a lot of money, and they will also give accommodation, very beautiful accommodation. There was free bus, there was feeding allowance, there were so many allowances. Is that true? That was what I heard.
It is very, very true. And those were the things that we were lured with, just to make us feel comfortable on the job. And they also blind our eyes and our minds from getting to know that they were into fraud.
So can you tell us what your position was at this new job?
Okay, during the course of the interview, that very first day that we got there, we were not told our positions. But after we resumed, we're now partitioned into different departments by how well we're able to operate the computer. So I was asked to work at the customer representative unit to directly chat with these foreign clients. And that is the engine of the company. That is where the company generates a whole lot of money from. So when we're now given these laptops with these foreign contacts, we were to chat these foreign nationals through the Telegram app. So that is where the bait comes from. After giving a very enthusiastic greeting, how you doing, how is work, here and there, once the person replies, the person is now tracked. I want to offer you a job. And this job can be done part-time. You must not devote the whole of your time just with your cell phone or with your laptop. You can do it. Just review our hotel and we're going to pay you 5 USDT. Can you do this? Once the client replies, yes, there's no problem. We'll now transition from that level to the hook. That hook stage means that the person will now go via the Google app, the Google Maps, then make a review of this hotel, claiming that he or she has gone to the hotel or claiming that he or she has visited the hotel for holidays or anything. Then from there, send us a screenshot of the review. They will now forward this screenshot to another department, which is the receptionist department. So I said that we were blindfolded because that is where they limited our effort, so that we cannot get to know how they have been trapping these clients, eating their money and duping them here and there after that stage.
Wait, after they reviewed the hotel, will you give them the 5 USDT?
Okay, the receptionist department pays them that 5 USDT. Because for me, I have evidence. Some of these clients usually comes back to us, sharing this receipt to us and thanking us for giving them such opportunity. So we thought that, oh, it's cool. It's something good.
The company was giving, because that's strange. Do you understand what this guy is saying? The Chinese company would get contact, lots of contact. Only God knows where they are getting this contact from.
Yes.
And then give it to those guys and say, please, persuade these contacts to give fake reviews about this hotel. Let them review on Google that this hotel was a wonderful place to be.
And we
if
have
they are able
more
to do that, then they'll reward those international contacts with $5 US.
Yes.
USDT.
Yes.
Wow. So you felt that you were actually working for a legitimate company, right?
Exactly.
Okay, continue. And the people that were rating, they were like, wow, can this be true? Just to write something on Google and then I get paid $5 US. That's a good opportunity. So continue.
So per day, they started giving us minor contacts, about 20, 30. So when they saw that maybe their target per day was not being met, so they decided to increase this number of contacts. So 200 per day, 250 per day. And you have to add these whole contacts. If you're not able to add them, there's a consequence for that. And if you're not able to convince a client too, there's also a consequence to that. So since it's just like a marketing business, so we have to always keep up to our tools to meet the daily targets. So the day EFCC came to our company, actually for me, I was about to get fired from the company because even my conscience was not really tallying with the work I was doing.
At that point, have you realized that they were doing 419? They were doing fraud?
I had not known, but my conscience was not allowing me.
You mean your spirit was not comfortable at that place?
Yes.
Okay, and you did not know that they were into fraud?
Yes, I never knew still.
I would like you to tell, it was after EFCC arrested you that you realized that the company was into fraud. I also like you to tell us about this fraud and how it is being operated in details.
So that fateful afternoon that the operatives of the EFCC arrived, I had finished adding my contacts and we had just returned from the afternoon lunch break that we went for, because we usually have 2 break by 12 and by 5 p.m. So the 12 noon break that we went for, we had just returned and I had finished adding my contacts. I hallucinated, meaning sleep took me. So since I was waiting for clients to reply some of the messages I had dropped, so before I could hear it, I just heard, "Hey guys, it don't happen, EFCC." That was how I jerked from my table and everyone was running helter-skelter. I had nowhere to run to anymore. So I said, since it has happened, let it just be like that. That was how they came. Like it was like a war front with their guns. They were more than 100 in number. And since they already have a clue of the number of the people at the company, they came in a very much number too, so that they can overpower us. So immediately they came, they surrounded the entire environment so that no one can escape. And if you dare it, you could be fired. Just a few people escaped. Those people who know the nook and cranny of the environment, the plaza, they were the ones who escaped. So they now came in, they seized our phones and every other document that we had. We asked to pick our jotas and every property that we took to the plaza that day. And that was how they paraded us into the vehicle and the vehicle of the company, and we got to the EFCC headquarters at Jabi. It was about 3-hour operation because they also raided the office and they went to the apartment too to raid the apartment. And those staff that were not at work that day, that were off, they went there to also raid and arrested all of them to the cell that very day. We arrived at the EFCC cell about 6 p.m. that fateful Thursday evening.
So what scam? What was the fraud about? The fraud that led to your arrest, because you have not talked about it.
The job is still real to be true. I got to discover that these foreign clients that are being lured to review these hotels, after they have done that and they have been paid this 5 years DT being promised by the company, there is another section within the company that no Nigerian working at the company will ever know. So the Chinese people are the ones who operate that unit. What do? They will now create a different Telegram group, adding these people who have successfully rated this hotel, because trust have been built already. They will now ask them to pay extra money to invest money in their company, promising them a whole lot of other luxuries, their investment outside. Because we, in Nigeria, for example, they don't even know, this foreign client, they don't even know that we are chatting from Nigeria. We use VPN to UK, to Poland, to France, to any part of the world. So promising them a whole lot of investment. If they are able to pay maybe $100, the Chinese company pay them $200, they will double the money for them. So most of these people that have paid this money, if they can no longer continue, that is where their investment and everything that they have invested in a company will also collapse. That is just how it is.
Okay, so I read about this online, and what I saw was entirely different. So what I read was this, that this Chinese company is going to ask people to leave reviews on this hotel, and when they do that, they'll pay them with $5.
Yes.
Then they'll also come again and tell them to also make another review to another hotel, and they'll still pay them another $5. At this point, they have been able to build good trust. They feel like, this company is really paying, They are so excited about it, and they cannot even just wait for another notification to come from their phone, only to realize that this Chinese company that will immediately attend to it because they know they are making money. Until one point, the Chinese company is going to say, you know what, please, I would like you to make a deposit to this hotel. The hotel is fake. Okay? So I want you to call the hotel and tell them that you would like to book maybe for 3 nights or for 4 nights. And maybe for 4 nights is like $500. So you're not going to they will tell them to use their own money and book this hotel, that the company is going to refund them back ×2.
Yes, that is investment.
You understand? So
yes.
If the people that have been receiving this $5 for just leaving reviews, they also want to call the hotel and say, okay, I want to book for 1 week. How much is it? Then they'll actually transfer money to this hotel, thinking that, this Chinese company that have been giving me $5, I'm sure they'll also give me back $1,000 in return, which is ×2 of the deposit I have already made.
Exactly.
And that is how the Chinese company will just stop communicating with them. $500 gone. So if they are doing this to like 200 people in a month, which month? In a week, that's a lot of money. $500 ×200. How much is it? Is a lot of money, right? It's 100 million naira. No, $100,000. That's a lot of money. Then in a month, you can imagine how much that is. They are making billions every single year. So that was what I read online, honestly. So, and I can't believe that this scam still exists. There are so many things happening every day in our society that we don't even know anything about. Sometimes those of us that follow EFCC on Instagram, when we see them posting about their arrest, some of us are speaking from ignorance. If truly we know the harm and some of the evil things that are going on in Nigeria every day, we will not even want to go and lambast the EFCC. Maybe you can see that sometimes the EFCC have misplaced priorities. Sometimes it's obvious. But to be honest, these guys, they are actually working so hard to battle financial crimes. So you were in prison for how long? Or were you in cell? Was it cell? How long were you there?
I was there about 2 weeks and a half.
2 weeks and a half?
Yes.
Okay. So during this time, what was it like?
Okay, it's kind of like a terrible experience because every man deserves, every man wants his freedom. Being there for these 2 weeks, no family greetings, no friends, no contact. You had been separated from the world. So it was never a very palatable experience at all. And it's a no-go place for anybody.
Okay, so you were finally discharged when they found out that you were only deceived to work there and you did not really know what was going on in the company.
To them, that is what they felt, because the very first day we got there, that night, we were already served with our bail conditions. So they were calling us criminals, online scammers, this or that. And we were voiceless because these people have convinced us that the job is real.
But you never knew what you were doing.
And I never knew.
That your own service was part of a more bigger operation.
Yes. So that Thursday that we got there, we were separated. Friday, no phone contact to our family or friends, nobody. Saturday passed, Sunday. So until Monday, just a few individuals were brought out to start calling their family members that they were at the EFCC custody. So on Tuesday, when people started trooping to the EFCC headquarters, they were very frightened. So they stopped giving order for their phones. So I had access to my family it should be on Thursday the following week. That was when I called my family and my lawyer that I was at the EFCC custody. And prior to that self, we were told that everybody was going to pay him ourselves and the company lawyer. We have nothing to do with anybody. Everybody should walk his own freedom by him or herself. And that was how my lawyer and my family throughout that week for those past 1 week and a half, coming every day here and there, filling forms, running at Tasketa and the rest of other victims. So that was how finally I was taken out of the custody.
Wow.
And I could also recall a night that I had a cramp on my neck, which I couldn't even twist my neck. I couldn't use it. So it was a medical condition, a terrible one for that matter, which I couldn't do anything. So based on that condition, they has to hasten up my leave, and peradventure to that, I was granted bail.
I heard that this company paid a lot of money. That's okay. An average job in Abuja that you get for, let's say, 100,000, 200,000. The company was even paying as much as 500,000 naira per month for this very job. And because of that, a lot of people did not want to leave their jobs. A lot of people were even fighting so hard to even work for this very company, that there were some of them that were earning as much as 1 million naira to 1.5 million naira every month. We heard that some people, some lecturers quit their job just to work for this Chinese company. That some government officials were even tempted, some civil servants, to even quit their job with the Nigerian government to go work for this Chinese company. I mean, because that amount of money was something a lot of them have never seen in their life, and then they'll be receiving it every month with accommodation, with food, and there's a bus that is going to take you, from workplace to where you are going to stay. I mean, that's a very sweet opportunity. This is just an example of when people say it is not, when something is too good to be true, then it's something to worry about. I'm happy that you were out of EFCC custody and you've been able to learn from this experience. By sharing your story too, you also make people aware of some of the dangers of job seeking. Sometimes we are just innocently applying for jobs that we do not do enough background search about the company we want to work for. I'm sure some of you listening to this story now, you've had your own fair share of experience. You've worked for a company that you did not even know had other things they were doing too. Some companies are into drug smuggling, money laundering, ritual killings, and so many abominable things. So it's really, really sad that a lot of people do not get to hear the stories, and that is what we just shared with you guys today. Thank you very much for sharing your story. So what are you doing with your life at the moment?
Okay. It's not really easy. It's not really easy. Up to the time I came out of the cell, I'm still trying to rehabilitate. And up to now, no job, nothing is really working for me yet. And I'm still trusting that hopefully, something is going to fall in pleasant places for me. So I'm just home thinking about my life and my next move.
You're still applying to jobs, right?
I'm trying. Any vacancy that I see.
May God help you. It's not easy. It's not easy as well. Just keep applying. If you go to Abuja Jobs, there are so many companies that are posting job listings every day. It's not easy, but don't stop applying. Hopefully, you'll be able to find yourself a good job once more. And thank you so much for coming out to share this experience. I'm sure that someone will have something to learn from it. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Thank you very much for sharing this story. I'm hoping that people learn from it. And I hope that God helps you to find your way back, getting a good job for yourself and chasing your dreams. I hope some of you have been able to learn something from this. We share stories like this because our position in the society is to educate people, to create awareness and sensitization. So the only way to help us is by sharing the story with as many people as possible, especially those that are residents of Abuja, so that everybody will be careful. Let us learn how to look out for each other, because we don't know who is going to be the next victim. Some of you have plans, but you don't know where that plan is going to lead to, and it is possible that there's someone out there that have shared a story of something that you should be careful of, but unfortunately you've not been able to see that story because nobody wants to share anything to anybody. And I hope that you don't end up becoming a victim of the victim story. Thank you all so much for watching this very episode. We are now on Spotify. Please go to Spotify right now and search for the Lucky Udo Experience. You don't want to miss it. We are concerned about those of you that are so busy you just cannot watch videos anymore. You can use Spotify to listen to the audio versions of our videos. Just plug in your headphone while you are doing your house chores. You can listen to the audio versions and you are still going to enjoy them just as much as you're enjoying the videos too. When you are driving to work, you can listen to our stories on Spotify. Please keep supporting this platform so we can keep our stories alive. Send us super thanks on YouTube, and God bless you so much. Thank you. Let's say bye to our viewers. Bye-bye.